flexing the anterior tibialis. You know that women love men with huge anterior tibialises? And this, what is that? Medial. What is that medial muscle called around the knee there? You guys remember. So, yeah, throw some questions at me. Whatever you got. Whatever you got. Whatever you got.
All right, we got a question from the Funky Lover. Yo, Elliot.
Funky Lover? Does that mean you have a stinky pussy? What does Funky Lover mean? You got a stinky puss, or you didn't wipe your butt. You know, girls don't like to give blowjobs to guys that have stinky butts, right? They don't want their face to go down there. Stinky Lover.
So he asked what ketones do. He was saying he was interested in your ketosis thing from last video, but I want to know more about ketones. Do you recommend them? What do they do?
So the way okay, so when you ask me what it is, you gotta consider that there's an endogenous and exogenous, right? That's the right word? Meaning your body can produce it, or you could take some extra in, right? The same way with like, in a way, the way I understand it's like glycogen, right? Like, you take glycogen, or your body breaks down stuff, I think in the liver, breaks down stuff in the liver and creates glycogen. Now, when your body breaks down fat, endogenous, it produces ketones. So that's where the energy comes from when your body breaks down fat. So you want your body to break down fat, because fat's no good, and you don't want to be fat. But then when it breaks it down, it turns into ketones, and ketones give you energy. Not the same kind of energy as sugar or glycogen, but a very powerful form of energy that I think is more adapted to fueling the brain, you understand. So there are those who also take exogenous ketones to fuel the brain, right? Like, or even to fuel their workouts and stuff. The problem with taking exogenous ketones is that your body will use it, which is great if that's what you want, but it won't break down your own body fat to get some because it already has some. So I've never taken exogenous ketones, but I have a ketone reader, and when I'm fasting or in a ketogenic diet state, I'll test it. It's like a little blood tester. I think you could even test it on your piss. That tells you your body is breaking down fat and using ketones because it's in your blood. So, I mean, hopefully that helps clarify things for you and makes your decision easier. So one of the things I just started doing recently, again, you notice I do things in cycles. I'm drinking Spider-Man juice. No, joking. Bulletproof coffee. So this is coffee with butter in it. Butter, salt. I put a little bit of cardamom. And it uses Dave Asprey's brand of coffee, which I've never used before. It tastes pretty good. The reason why I bring it up is because I could be using ketones or energy as a result, right? Most people put sugar in their coffee, and then what are you gonna do? You break down sugar, you break down glycogen or whatever. And so kind of like dovetails or relates to your question before. Drinking bulletproof coffee or butter coffee might create an environment in your body where you're breaking down ketones or energy. And I can tell you, I started this week, a number of differences I've noticed is I drink coffee, and I used to have to use L-theanine to keep my jitters down and to keep my brain from racing, which is an amino acid that sort of like calms the nervous system. I don't need that anymore. The butter slows it down without the L-theanine, right? So I don't need that anymore. Also much more satiated because I would drink the coffee, black, or with some nut butter. Nut butter, what? Nut pods? It's like coconut and almonds. But then I would be like ravenous and having headaches if I don't eat at the time that I need to. But just a little bit of butter, tablespoon of butter in my coffee, and I can quote unquote, fast a lot longer. And I say quote unquote because butter's calories, right? But there's different kinds of fast, right? So you could fat fast, right? I think somebody asked me about that once before. So anyway, I can last a lot longer with butter coffee. And it tastes better too. It's incredible. It's good stuff. Hey, so I want to apologize for my stinky pussy and shitty butthole talk before. I'm a bit crude. I'm vulgar sometimes. I have like a 12-year-old's sense of humor sometimes. And I think that I think stuff like that is funny. Well, it's also immature, right? I'm being like a big kid. Anyway, just thought of that. I can't help myself. I'm 42 years old. I still make stinky pussy and booty jokes, right? I think I get it from my kids. One of my daughters, she always tells jokes. Maybe that's what it is.
All right, Zal asks, yo, Elliot, how do I best channel anger?
That's a good question. And depending on what year you ask me that question, you'll get different answers. Like you've seen me allow anger to flow, right? So bioenergetics is about allowing the emotion. So what's the emotion? Energy moving through the body. Emotion isn't mental. It can become mental if you allow it to fester, if you judge your feelings, or if you try to fix your feelings by thinking, right? So with bioenergetics, the idea is you can't fix an emotional problem by thinking around it. Emotions is energy that needs release. It needs to go somewhere. So you can channel it by doing like a kid, like kids do sometimes. My kids do it. Turn on music and just shout or throw themselves around or jump around and dance and have fun, stuff like we used to do at grounding camp, right? It's just like you're letting the body do what it wants to do. If you watch children, because they're not as stifled as adults are, just watch children, what they do to channel their energy. Now, we teach them stop doing that because it irritates us, but that's the natural way, is for the body to just get rid of it, just throw it out. So that's one thing you can do, and there are very resourceful ways to release it, right? Like lifting in the gym. I probably lift because I'm an angry man, right? I take it out on the weights, fuck up these weights, right? So lifting stones and stuff like that gets me to channel my emotional energy, and I think a lot of guys would agree. If we're not physically doing something, we grow perverted, right? We're designed to move, we're designed to lift, we're designed to throw, we're designed to run, we're designed to jump, climb, all that shit. And that allows the body to do what it does most naturally. And when you stay active, especially through breathing, right? So cardio, anything that gets the heart rate up, anything that causes you to suck wind, your capacity to feel and let go of energy increases, or emotion increases, right? Because you're used to being physical. Someone who sits down all day long, stares at a screen all day long, doesn't get any sunshine or fresh air, and is in a dead, dormant body, emotion goes in their body, and it ping-pongs back and forth. You could just imagine, right? It's like billiards, bing, 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 and they don't know what to do with it. And that's why they go to the doctor, and the doctor gives them a pill, and then they're like, they forget. The pill just makes them forget that there's a ping pong going on in their body. There's billiards. But someone who's physical and active, they're throwing that out there. Now, I tend to think now, right, as I've evolved in my thinking. I don't think what I just said there was any less valid now, but I think we could do it in a much more passive way also, right? That's active meditation, that's active release. I've been a big fan of that for a long time, as it's contrasted with passive, right? Passive meditation, passive release. And so I've coined, I guess you could say, the term throning, right? I talk to a lot of the kings in my King Transformation program about what to do when things become tough, right? When emotions want to flow and I don't know what to do and I want to do something destructive. I tend to do that as well. I want to go find something destructive to do, and it makes me feel better for a second, but then not anymore. So in order to alleviate that, I say throne. What is throning? Throning is to sit down, right? It's not meditation. It's sitting down and being with the emotion. Not thinking about the emotion, not trying to solve the problem, not judging the emotion, not judging yourself, but noticing it in your body. If you sit down and you notice, okay, I know I'm angry, right? Because there's a concept of anger, right? What does that feel like in your body? You sit down, and it's like, I feel like my chest is caving in, right? So you just notice it, okay? I don't have a judgment about it. I'm not blaming my mommy or my boss. I'm just like, tension in my chest. And then what do? Breathe into the tension. By and by, you feel the tension start to release. Same thing for me in the traps, right? I know when I'm carrying unresourceful emotion because I'll tighten my traps, right? That's why my traps are so huge, because I want to go and smash something with my head. But then if I sit and I start breathing and just noticing my body, what will happen? My traps will drop. And that'll happen everywhere throughout your body. You would be surprised at the amount of tension you hold in your eyes. You can sit and throne, close your eyes, it's very good. But notice there's a lot of tension that builds up right here. My wife gets it right here. A lot of tension right here. In fact, there's a form of meditation, I think you could call it, active meditation, called tapas. And this woman teaches it. She says, you take your fingers, put them here, and then take your hand, put it at the base of your skull. And she asserts that this creates some sort of an electric charge, right, circuit that releases the tension through the ocular segment, right? So you can be tense across your eyes. You could be tense across your jaw. A lot of people, most of us are tense in our jaw, and we don't even know it. The neck, the throat, chest, solar plexus, belly, pelvis floor, right down to your feet, right into your legs. I have a tendency to make my legs tense. And even when I'm sitting, like I'm clenching my butt. I'm like, what am I doing? It's not like I'm doing deadlifts or something. I'm throning. And so then I allow the muscles to just go to sleep. And you'll find that when all the muscles are relaxed, and then you breathe again, that breath is much more full. It's much more relaxing. It's much more of a wave. Breathing should be like a wave through the body. If you watch a baby, when they're laying down and they're breathing, their body looks like this. But we become herky-jerky as we get older, muscular tensions, holding emotions back. So that's a long answer, I guess philosophical answer, something to like send you down a rabbit hole to at least consider with regard to channeling your anger, right? There's active, and then there's passive. And there are pros and cons. There are pluses and minuses to both. I think both are valid. Gives me energy, but calm energy. You see me before with like erratic energy. It just gives me, I get calm energy. Gotta drink it more often.
Is it caffeinated as well?
Yeah, it's just coffee.
My Tight Pants on Instagram asked.
Wait, what?
My Tight Pants.
My Tight Pants.
You got some followers. Hey, he's the story of my life. Yeah, so this is my own account. All right, yo, Elliot, what are ways I can go about helping my girlfriend get closer to God? She is willing and wanting to. How can I help that process?
Oh, well, I think it's our responsibility to be the example, right? Like, you can't expect your wife or your girlfriend or your woman to do something that you're not fully invested in. And if you don't have a track record for making good decisions, it's going to be even more difficult for her, right? Wouldn't you say, Colleen, that it's easier? I was the first person to like talk to Colleen about God. Remember when we were kids? We were in college and so on and so forth. But it was because of my enthusiasm, and because of my direction, because of my leading her in that direction, that she was receptive to it. And it's just, of course I sound like a misogynist when I say stuff like this, but I'm relating to my wife and I'm relating to most women. I don't think women seek God. I don't think women are religious by nature, by biology. I think that's something that men do. I think men are more like seek for the stars, seek for the sky, seek for God and transcendence. I think women are more grounded and more like physical and more related to like survival and like what's here now and what's going on. So I think God gives women more grace as a result. But I think there's an expectation from God, and I think that there's a drive within men in particular to seek leadership, to seek authority, to seek a father, right? I think that's uniquely masculine. So if we're wanting to lead our women in that way, I think we have to be genuine and authentic and honest in our own seeking, our own praying, our own worship, and our own religious life. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Would you agree?
I would agree. I'd also say make it your quality time together. So if you want to bring your woman in, make it something special that you do with her, and she'll probably be more likely to be receptive to it.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Hey, by the way, I don't know if this video will be out in time. Probably won't, but you'll get to see the recording of it. Colleen and I will be doing a couples Q&A, right? A marriage Q&A at the 21 convention this Saturday, which is October 20th? 22nd? October 22nd. So, 23rd. So I don't know if you remember a couple months ago, I put up a short video where I said, ask Elliott's wife anything, right? That's what it's called. And a lot of you guys sent a lot of questions in there. The event that we'll be speaking at will be women in the audience, but we also want to blend in a few of your questions. So if you sent in a question for Colleen to answer, together with me at the 22 convention, you can look forward to seeing that up here pretty soon, or if you'll be at the convention this weekend, we'll be excited to meet you there. So we are called, as husbands and fathers, we are called to be the priest in our home, right? Priest, prophet, king. There's a really good book related to this entire subject by Derek Prince called Husbands and Fathers, God's Plan for, I think it's God's Plan for Men, something like that. But it really is our responsibility. I think one of the ways that we've lost, of course, a symptom of masculinity being lost in the West has been this leaning on women to go to church, or leaning on women to be the spiritual leaders, which is completely ass backwards. And it's not a sexist thing. It's a responsibility thing. And like I say, I think it's a biological thing. I think it is up to men, and it is required of us, right? It's not even just like, oh, my opinion. God asks us to be the leaders in all. Now, of course, there are many, many different kinds of religions, but I lean towards the Abrahamic traditions, right? If you look at Judaism, you look at Christianity, and if you look at Islam, all are Abrahamic religions. By the way, I'm teaching my kids about Abraham right now as we're going through Genesis. And Abraham just screwed up, and he banged his servant, and now, is it Isaac? I think Isaac. Isaac is his real, or his Sarah's son. I think it was Ishmael. But it's all Abrahamic. I mean, they're all seeds of Abraham. Ishmael and Isaac both come from Abraham. Anyway, that's another story. But those are patriarchal traditions. The Abrahamic tradition is patriarchal, and it is what built the West. I mean, it's what built the Middle East and Europe, right? It's built off of an Abrahamic tradition. Where we see ourselves losing it completely with the adoption of the Marxist and its daughter feminist mindset in the West has been a complete severing of the head from the body of Christ. So there's no God, there's no Christ, there's no reason for men to be patriarchal. In fact, the calling card of feminists is smash the patriarchy, right? But where does that leave us, right? And if you look at the world as it is right now, that's your answer, right? Open borders, abortions, promiscuity, even contraception. I went on this long mental exercise with myself about contraception. Like, there's a reason why the church condemned contraception for so long. And now we can see the fruits of it, right? Because then sex goes from a part of marriage and family and spiritual union between two people and their creator to entertainment, right? It's all hookup culture, swiping right and getting boned, and it destroys women, right? And it destroys men. It destroys relationships. It destroys family. So what we really do need is a return to patriarchy, patriarchal values, patriarchal ideas, Abrahamic tradition. And if and when that happens, we'll see a lot of the topsy-turvy make its way back to what it should be. But as it relates to women again, right? It's up to us. We can't expect women to do that. It's not their responsibility. And for the most part, they don't really want to do it. They want a man that will do it. They don't even know that they want a man to do it. They need a man to do it. Right, wife?
Sure.
See? So I heard a lecture that was given on St. Thomas Aquinas's, his idea of what happened in the garden. And a part of it was that, and just based on the scripture, Aquinas asserts that the reason why Adam didn't correct his wife and didn't protect his wife was because he wanted to, quote unquote, be with his wife. So when God asked him, like, why'd you do that? He was like, well, because I wanted to be with my wife. So in other words, Adam was a simp. In other words, it was like, well, you know, I want to hang out with my wife, I want to have sex with my wife, I want to be in good graces with my wife and what she wants, as opposed to doing what's right, doing the right thing. And even if she would have objected, right, he would have been righteous. If Eve was like, come on, Adam, don't be lame, right? And then, you know, maybe the threat that she would leave for another guy who, like, you know, he loves forbidden fruit. I'm gonna go hang out with that guy. But Adam was like shook. He was like scared, like, oh, I might lose my girl, right? And so as a result, he was like, well, okay, happy wife, happy life. That's what Adam was actually thinking. He was thinking, happy wife, happy life. That's a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for falling, right? I don't make my wife happy. I make her miserable. That's why I have a happy life. She's not here. She'll tell you. I don't make her happy. I don't do everything she wants me to do. I don't follow her lead. She wants me to do something that I think is not conducive to what I want? No. Right? If you want to have a happy life, make your wife miserable. Don't follow her lead. She'll be happier, though, in the end. In the end, she'll be happier. Getting more crap.
All right, Yo Elliott, what do you think the limits should be between male and female friendship?
I don't think men and women are supposed to be friends. I don't. And listen, so I know I sound crazy when I say these things. Yesterday I was doing some research on the talk that I'm going to give at the Patriarch Convention. And so it's about protecting the family. And so you may ask yourself, protecting the family from what? So I had to point out the enemy. And so by pointing out the enemy, Satan's manifestation on the planet, I had to relate to Marxism. We know that the stated goal of Marxism is to completely subvert and pervert Western civilization. The creators of it said so. Well, Antonio Gramsci, Mark Lukács were the brainchild, or maybe the inspiration, for what's called the Frankfurt School. The Frankfurt School were all the Jews that were kicked out of Germany, right? For what reason, we'll never know, right? That were trying to implement Marxism in Germany, right? After they already did what they had to do in Russia, the Bolsheviks, right? So all these Jays, dare I say, came to New York, started a Frankfurt School, and they had an agenda to subvert and pervert the culture. Now, there's a long list of things that they wanted to do, some of which include destroy the family, like I forget how they said it, but it was basically turn women and men against each other, right? This was their plan. Stated goals. One of the ways they decided to do that, they understood that if you depolarize the sexuality between the genders, there will be strife. Men won't understand themselves anymore, and women won't understand themselves any longer. There'll be complete gender confusion, like we are here today, where little girls think that they should add a dick to me, right? Or little boys want to cut off their dicks. One of the ways by which they intended to do this, and did it successfully, so much so that we don't even realize that we're frogs boiling in this water that's been turned up for 100 years, was to erase educational differences between boys and girls. In other words, prior to the 1930s, boys were taught a certain way, girls were taught a certain way. They were separate in their education because, as science dictates, boys and girls are different. And as such, they should be trained different, reared different, educated differently. But now we have them all blended together, and you have a bunch of boys who got to go on ADD pills because the female teachers can't handle them, and a bunch of girls who are excelling in girly stuff. But the school has become super girly, so of course. So this whole idea that boys and girls, or men and women, are equal, the same, and should be hanging out with one another like there's no polarity is a complete fucking lie. When men and women get together, there's instant polarity. Now, how it manifests itself based on simping and hypergamy means that if you're with a girl, let's say you have a friend that's a girl, you know that polarity is there, but you're pretending it's not, because 9 times out of 10, if she takes off her clothes and says, hey, my friend, let's have sex, you're not gonna think twice about it, because it's always there underlying. As far as men are concerned, they would always want to have sex if a woman wants to open up and have sex with them, right? In other words, biologically, right? Now, this is why we have moral codes, so that we don't do shit like this. And we had traditional standards so that men and women be treated differently, because we're freaking different. And the same thing with women. A woman's currency from a man is his attention. This is why they love to have beta orbiters. Have you ever heard this term, beta orbiters? This is a woman who has a bunch of guy friends that she'll never fuck. Why? Because women, the same way that men get their sense of pride from having sex, women get their sense of pride. There's no pride for a woman to have sex, because all she has to do is open her legs. But they get their pride from the amount of attention that they can garner from a broad spectrum of men. So they really don't have to do anything as long as simps are simping. So I share all that with you to prove a point that men and women are not and never will be friends. Now, this is my wife. She's my most trusted person on earth. She and I have become not friends, but one flesh. She is I and I am her. We're not friends. We're a unit. We're one person. We're one soul, two people. How could you say it? Or even two people, one soul, with the children that we've created. So when there's an attraction towards a woman, be it intellectually, emotionally, physically, it will all tend to line up in the mind of a man, right? So if you think, how can I say this? I want to wrap this one up. Girls, if you have guy friends that you're not having sex with, she's your girlfriend. That's a girlfriend. It's a girlfriend with a penis, right? You go shopping with you. What do you do? What do you do together? What do you do together? You're shopping together, helps you pick out your shoes. What else? Right? What kind of things are you guys doing that are totally depolarized? Depolarized activities between men and women basically neutralize genders. So it's like two women, right? And man, if you have a girl that's your friend, just remember you're her girlfriend, right? That's the way she sees you. She doesn't see you like a man, because if she saw you like a man, she would see you, know you like a man. So your question is to what extent? Completely neutral. And you know how you start doing that? You start doing that by recognizing what I just shared with you about the perversion of public schools and children being trained together. You know what happens when you train boys and girls together? Because this is a cultural phenomenon that unfolds itself into adulthood, to show you where I'm at right now. So you pretend men and girls and boys are the same. You put them in the same schools, you treat them the same way, they have the same standards, the same tests, same. Egalitarian, equality, fine. By the time they get to middle school, you know what they're doing? Hugging in class. Do you remember? Did you go to public school?
Yeah.
You remember, right? Going to school, as soon as the kids start turning 13, 14 years old, in the hallway, were you hugging? Hugging. The girls, they want to hug you?
What?
Did the girls want to hug you? The girls hugged anybody.
Yeah.
The girls would hug everybody.
Yeah.
Right? Not to say that you're not a huggable guy, but it was all about hugging. Where the fuck did that hugging come from? Right? It starts out with hugging in middle school, then it becomes sex in high school. By the time she and you are in your early 20s, and riding the cock carousel, 12, maybe 15, under your belt at that time, you know what that does? It defiles your marriage bed. People want to know why marriages don't work. Why don't marriages work? Because you treat boys and girls like they're the fucking same, and they're supposed to be friends with their boys and girls when they're in elementary school. And then it turns into a simping hypergamy match all through middle school and high school, right? And it's a perversion, and it's why our culture is falling apart. So, okay, just to, again, come full circle, that hugging shit, here's how you fix it. That hugging shit, I recognized this a couple years ago, then starts to extend itself into adulthood, right? And of course, you know, adultery is just basically a part of our American culture. So then you have married people, adults, walking around hugging each other's wives and husbands. I don't think the hugging thing is a good idea. I don't hug women that aren't my wife. They'll come to me sometimes because maybe we've known each other for a long time and the tradition has been set, so I'm like, okay, fine, I'm rolling my fucking eyes. But I make it a point that unless we, like Mike Tyson, right? There's a really funny interview with Mike Tyson, right? And he's in a circle with a bunch of guys that are interviewing him. But there's this one girl, there's one female interviewer. And Mike Tyson was Muslim, and Muslims don't simp. That's another aside. And so the female reporter asked Mike Tyson a question, and he goes, I don't talk to women unless we fornicate. This is his answer. I'm not saying it's the right answer, but it's funny how blunt he is with it. He says, I don't talk to women unless we fornicate. And then so she asked the question again, and he goes, okay, I see what's up. He created a standard by which he lives his life, which is, unless we're being intimate, there's no reason for me, well, he said speaking, but in my case, there's no reason for us to be hugging. Why are we hugging? Why am I hugging you? Really doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. So that's how you start to honor the boundaries between men and women, the honors between married couples and not being married, and it opens the space, it gives a clean slate for courting. Courting is the process by which you vet a person for marriage. But if you hugging, rubbing, humping, kissing, fornicating, then there's no platform to get to know that person, because you immediately got on your sex goggles, and that's the problem with most guys, right? We can't see. I look at guys sometimes, I'm like, how did you marry such an awful woman? Why? Because they're having sex. When you're having sex, you got those sex goggles on, right? You know, those heart-shaped goggles. Ooh, you're all fucking in love, and you can't see all the damn red flags, right? So I just vomited a whole spectrum of ideas on you with regard to that. But the bottom line is men and women are not friends. Done.
Steven Salva asking, Yo, Elliot, what do you think is the most important habit to cultivate in a young man?
Well, I got to throw lifting up there at the top, somewhere near the top of it, right? Because form equals function, right? Use it or lose it. And so we've been granted a gift as men. Do you know one of the main differences between the fetus of a girl and the fetus of a boy is, right? Because at first they're asexual, but then there's a stage in gestation where the mother's body floods the fetus with testosterone. Did you know that? That's what turns a neutral fetus into a boy. There's something added. The girl is neutral. The girl is fine. The girl is what she is. This is why there's more grace in life for women. She is what she is, and it's fine. But then something is doused. It's doused with testosterone. And so if we get to we're reaching our prime as physical, on our feet, walking around in the world, not in the womb, human beings, men, and we start reaching to our early adulthood, and that gift that we're given, right, our testes, starts pumping testosterone, and you don't use it, or you don't facilitate it, you don't exercise, you don't work out, you don't lift, bye-bye. Bye-bye testosterone, bye-bye being a man. And this is why there's so many weak, fat, soft, lazy, effeminate men in this world. One of the reasons of which is because we don't exercise, we don't lift. Use it or lose it. We were given a rugged, strong body for a reason. I get it. We don't use it like we used to out in the world because the society has become so easy. But that also gives us more of a responsibility to go to the gym, right? Just you can't complain and say, oh, but we don't need our bodies like they did back when they were riding horses and wrangling cattle. Okay, maybe you're right. But they didn't have gyms back then either. They didn't have barbells back then either. They didn't have dumbbells and treadmills, right? So you got to do it. You got to use it, or you're going to lose it. So as far as rituals are concerned, habits that you want to cultivate the strength and health of your body. That's one thing my father always say. He says, you could take everything from me. This is my father's attitude. My father has tremendous faith too. So I'll add this there as a side. He has tremendous faith in the Almighty. That's what my dad calls God, the Almighty. But he also always says, give me my health, give me my strength, and nothing can stop me. Right? If you have your health and you have your strength, then you can do anything no matter what challenges you face, right? No matter how hard life gets. If you have your health, right, and that means mental health, that means physical health, and you got your strength, that means literally muscles and leverages with your body, then you can't lose, right? Because those are two most important tools that you have as a man. I'll add to that also because, look, to understand anything, you have to see the context of it, right? So if you want to study a bumblebee, for example, right? You can't just study a fucking bumblebee. You got to study the context of the bumblebee. The sun, the trees, the flowers, the air, the pollen, the entire universe, right, revolves around this bumblebee. So you say, hey, bumblebee, the best thing for you to do is to flap your wings, not realizing that there's an entire context to consider, then you're failing in guiding that bumblebee. Long story short, we're failing in guiding men and ourselves if we don't consider the context. And the context of which we live is in a God-created universe, right? Men work best in hierarchies. This is why we refer to God as the Father. This is why fatherlessness was a main tool used by the Marxists to destroy the West. So we need, the context of a healthy man is to have a father. This is why my mission is to make men strong again, to make families strong again. It's super, super important. I don't even have to go into the statistics of it to have you recognize. Everybody knows we suck. We're sucking as a culture because fatherlessness. But that means our physical fathers, and that means God the Father. The thing is with God the Father, unless you're paying attention, unless you're intuitive and you're sensing, could seem as if he's far away. And so another habit to cultivate, I would say, is prayer, reverence, adoration, supplication, thanks to the Almighty, like my father would say, or to God, or to whatever word which pales into in comparison to what our Creator really is, right? So it's just words. Oh, that's it. Hey, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Me going on little rants here after drinking my Bulletproof coffee. It's all the ketones. It's all the fucking ketones in my brain has got me calm and crazy at the same time, right? Coffee and ketones, what am I gonna do? So that's it. Had a great half workout. I gotta finish up my workout, but I'm tired of talking to you guys, distracting me, so I gotta go. Done.